Namaskar, friends. Why do we fail to concentrate? In the previous discourses, two previous discourses, 65 and 66, the speaker has enlightened you about what mantra is and what is the effect that mantra can create upon our body and mind. And the three levels of uttering mantra. Namely, uttering the mantra loudly, that is, by moving our lips, and then uttering the mantra mentally, and then in the third stage, we do not utter, but we do it in utter silence. But this silence utterance of the mantra transforms you or prepares you for the next stage, that is meditation. Because what happens in the process of uttering mantra is we develop the power of concentration. And this power of concentration prepares us for the next higher stage, that is dhyana. This is the true object of mantra. And this is what we have learned in the last two discourses. Now, why do we fail to concentrate in spite of our focus being directed upon the mantra? As the speaker has already said, we may utter the mantra, but we do it in a mechanical way. Because there are so many distractions that come from outside. The sadhaka has undergone series of experiences every day. Every day the sadhaka comes into contact with the objective world, and therefore he undergoes series of experiences with various things and objects and situations. And all these cause distractions. So the sadhaka may utter the mantra, his lips will be moving, but it is done in a very mechanical way. The lips are moving, but the mind is somewhere. The mind is not brought and focused upon the utterance of the mantra and the vibrations that this mantra creates in our body and in our mind. This is a problem that everyone encounters when he or she starts uttering mantra. And the most powerful mantra is pranava. The pranava shabda, that is Omkaranadam. There are, of course, various mantras, but the most powerful one is the Omkaranadam. So we fail to focus on the shabda. The lips are mechanically moving, but mind is moving somewhere. There are so many distractions that come in our way. And why do we fail? There are two factors or reasons attributed to this. The first one is that we lack interest, we lack purpose. The lack of purpose is one cause for why we fail to focus our attention on the mantra, on the utterance of the mantra. There are two kinds of consciousness diametrically opposed in nature. One is Pratyak Chetana and the other one is Paranga Chetana. Pratyak Chetana is turning inwards. Paranga Chetana is turning outside. And there is always a conflict between these two. Turning inward and turning outward. The conflict between the outward and the inward. Whenever we want to turn inward, the outward constantly pulls it out. The impact of the outward is more than the impact of the inward. So the turning inward is constantly disturbed by the turning outward. And when we move to the third stage of uttering mantra, that is uttering mantra in silence, because this is the final stage, the stage of evolution in the uttering of mantra, the third final gradation. Ultimately, uttering the mantra must reach the stage of uttering in silence. Because when you take the mantra in silence, you are turning inward. Whereas in the case of the uttering mantra by moving our lips loudly. The uttering takes place outside, but in the third stage of uttering the mantra, we are driven inside. But this inward turning is in consonance with the uttering of a mantra in silence. The uttering mantra in silence means turning inward, which again means, as the speaker has already said, that the sadhaka is prepared to move from the level of concentration to the level of meditation. And this is what exactly happens in the third level. So from concentration to meditation. Which again means that we need a tremendous power of looking inward. When the mantra is being uttered in silence, we are completely driven inside. No amount of outward distraction should come in our way. And it is not accepted. And it is diametrically opposed. Therefore, uttering the mantra in silence is nothing but turning inward. And this must happen. And this must happen simultaneously. Otherwise, uttering the mantra in silence has no any meaning at all. But then when we utter the mantra in silence, the inward turning may not happen. That is due to lack of purpose. Sometimes we lose the purpose. We lose our interest on our purpose. The purpose here is to look into ourselves. And dhyana is nothing but looking into oneself, not outward. And this looking into oneself, this looking inside is prepared by this uttering of the mantra in silence. This is the object of the mantra, and the final object of the mantra that we have learned in the previous discourse. But this does not happen because, as the speaker has just now cited, one strong reason, and it is the lack of purpose. So when we suffer from the lack of purpose, then the uttering of mantra in silence can never happen. and thereby it will not prepare the sadhaka for the next stage, that is meditation. The second reason for why we fail to focus on this, why we fail to turn inward, is that we get too many obstacles that come from the outside world. Outside world is very tempting. It's full of objects and things, full of colorful objects and things, and full of temptations. And our sense organs are more trained towards this outside world. Only during sleep the sense organs are temporarily withdrawn because of their constant involvement in the wakeful state in this physical world and their inevitable contacts with the objects and things in the physical world. So the world acts like a magnet, and the sense organs are like filaments, and they easily get trapped, and they can easily fall prey to this temptation. So the obstacles arise. The obstacles are created by the objects and things in the physical world. And therefore, even when we are in the very first stage of uttering mantra, that is loudly, we are disturbed by these distractions that come from the outside world. The sense organs are more habituated, more accustomed to live with the temptations. So we may mechanically move our lips, but the obstacles caused by the objects and things in the physical world constantly act upon, and therefore we fail to focus our attention on the utterance of the mantra, on the shabda itself, and the vibrations that the shabda creates, and we may fail to feel the vibrations inside our body. So vibrations cannot take place because of the obstacles created by the physical world. So therefore, the sadhaka must be extremely vigilant. He must exercise his discretionary powers as and when the mind is distracted. He must bring it back and focus it on the utterance, because he must constantly realize the purpose that he wants to train its mind, prepare this troubling mind, this monkey-like mind for meditation. But when the mind is constantly disturbed by all these distractions that come from the outside world, then meditation cannot take place. So therefore the sadhaka must be extremely vigilant about it. He should at any level not forget his purpose. The purpose is to turn inward and prepare this journey, inward journey, that there is a world, the world that we see outside is not real and it is limited, and there is a world that is within, which is deeper, and we have never explored that. We have never plunged deep into it. It is much, much bigger than the world that we see outside. It is much, much more fathomless than what we see outside. It is vast and infinite. In fact, whatever we see outside is nothing but the manifestation of what is inside. So the inside is the base. The inside is the primary cause for all that happens outside. The outside is only a projection of what is inside. The inside is much deeper and more complex than the outside world. So we need to plunge deeply into it. We need to explore this. That is the purpose. So when there is outside, there must be inside too. Our sense organs are more trained to look outside. We have never been taught as to how to look inside. Once you turn inside, then you can see a difference. And this is the purpose. And to achieve this purpose, mantra is fixed. And this is the connection between the mantra and this purpose. Ultimately, mantra must prepare you to move inside. And this inward journey is the ultimate object of the mantra. So mantra must plunge you deeply. As the speaker has already clarified in his previous discourse, that the bhavana of the mantra is very important. That is the essence And once the essence is absorbed, the absorbing of the essence is what is known as looking inwardly and preparing yourself for that state of meditation. In fact, the moment you turn inside, the moment you take the mantra inside, you are entering into a state of meditation. You are preparing yourself for meditation. And meditation is nothing but a journey inwardly. It's an inward journey. It is going deep and deeper into yourself and examine its profundity of nature. And that is the complexity of the mantra. So, in this discourse, the speaker has given you the two fundamental reasons for why we fail to focus our attention on the mantra, and the two reasons being the one is lack of purpose, and the other is the obstacles that constantly arise from the outside world. We will examine the different kinds of obstacles that come in the way of sadhaka, how they trouble the sadhaka, how they distract the sadhaka's attention in our next discourse. Namaskar.